So I want to go through the things that you're going to need for class. The biggest thing is that you are going to want to prep prior to class. You can cut all your vegetables up based on recipe and store them in Ziploc bags and then put them in a big Ziploc and just label it so you know what it is. And then the day of class, I like to use these little dishes here to separate out my items. If a bowl is fine. Really anything, you can leave them in the Ziploc bags too, that's fine. But you'll notice here, I've got a mix of vegetables. This is gonna be for our veggie bowls that we're gonna make. These are hard vegetables. You can see the size that I've cut them up in. So I've got some broccoli, some bell peppers, and some carrots. Again, these are all hard vegetables. You can pick whatever vegetable you want. You'll see in the packet that I've stated you need 3 cups. Pick whatever vegetable you really love. My son doesn't like cauliflower, so that's why I've got more broccoli than anything in here. But again, any hard vegetable is good. In this container here, I've got my soft vegetables. And the reason why they're separated is because they get cooked at different times so that, you know, we end up with something that's delicious and not mushy. So in this container, I've got my yellow squash, also known as summer squash, and zucchini. I love zucchini, so I have more zucchini probably and squash than anything because I love those 2 things. My son loves mushrooms, so we've got that, and that makes up our 3 cups. And then I have my shallots and my sweet yellow onion in here. As far as our herbs go, I also like to put those in little dishes. The one thing that I wanted to show you is the microplane. So this is a microplane that I use to grate. You just literally grate your garlic and your ginger. And I put those in little cups. And then I've got my ginger here. If this isn't your jam, you don't have a microplane, that's fine, you can mince it up. If just this type of product isn't your jam, then you can definitely use the pre-stir-in paste that are already done for you. The one thing that I want you to keep in mind is that this is convenient. It lasts for weeks in the fridge. However, that is because there's preservatives in it. Obviously, when we're using, you know, right from the plant, there's no preservatives. So just keep that in mind. It definitely is great if you're in a hurry, you know, that weeknight dinner when you come home from work, or you walk across the house from your office if you're remote and you don't want to deal with it. Other things that you'll need for liquids, we want to use a Pyrex measuring cup for liquid. We'll be using veggie broth for quite a few things. And this is the broth that I use. You can use any vegetable broth. You really want low sodium, and you want it to be, you know, organic. It's always great. And then as far as our grains go, we are going to be using a couple different products. So here I've got quinoa. This is 100% whole grain, so that's what you want to look for. Organic quinoa. If you can't find just the standard quinoa, you can always do the rainbow quinoa. I don't want you to feel like you have to get exactly what I have. Obviously, everybody in the class, we're located in different states, different areas of Washington. So some of these products will look different in your grocery store. The main thing you want to look for, 100% whole grain. If it says quick cook on it, that's even better. Again, regular quinoa, rainbow quinoa, any type of quinoa is fine, as long as it is 100% whole grain and is a quick cook one. And you'll be able to look at the directions on the back, and depending on which preparation method, if it is stovetop or microwave, it should take, you know, less than 15-20 minutes. For our dessert, this is what I bake my desserts in. I have several of them. This is an au gratin pan, or au gratin bakeware, so it's like a stoneware. This is from World Market. If you don't have this, you can use a ramekin. You can use creme brulee dish. Really any type of oven safe dish. If you have like a little crockware, that works too. If you don't have any of that, but you have maybe the Pyrex or the glass bread pans, like the loaf pan, you can just make both of your servings in that. So whatever you have that can go into the oven, perfect. We are going to be making a marinade, or it's actually more of a sauce that coats our saute for our veggie bowls. So we're definitely going to want to make this up. You want to make this up before class, put it in some sort of container, and just leave it in the refrigerator. Everything needs to be prepped before class. So all of your vegetables need to be cut up, all of your spices and everything need to be done up. Your sweet potatoes, your apple slices for the dessert, everything needs to be done ahead of time so that we can focus just on the cooking portion. We call this mise en place, or I call it mess in place. So it just helps to, we've only got 3 hours, so we need to get cracking. One more thing for our saturated fats for this class, we're going to be using coconut oil and olive oil. So this is an organic virgin coconut oil. You want to look for the one that says unrefined virgin coconut oil. This one's by Organics. So it is in a saturated form, solid form. So this is our saturated fat. We're only going to be using a little bit of it because this is our butter replacement. And then the other thing is the olive oil. Olive oil, you can really use any olive oil. If you, want a really good quality olive oil, you'll just want to look for a vintage date on the bottle, but it's not necessary. Other things, nuts. We'll be using nuts for garnishes. So any type of nut that you prefer is completely fine. And then, we've got some organic curry powder here. The ground Saigon cinnamon, a lot of people ask about that. I like it. It tastes really good. This you can get at Costco. If you can't find ground Saigon cinnamon, then just regular cinnamon is fine. As far as cooking for our veggie bowls, we're going to be doing a saute. So you need a saute pan that will accommodate the amount of vegetable that we're going to be putting in here. So this is an oven safe one. You don't have to have an oven safe one, but you want something big enough. And then we've got some pans. So like this one here is a heavy bottom pan for cooking our, I'm actually gonna cook our quinoa in here. The reason why I like heavy bottom, the thinner ones, you have to watch super close because they will burn. If that's all you have, that's totally fine. For our soup, I'm using a Dutch oven. I love Dutch ovens, so if you have one and you love your Dutch oven, break it out. If not, you're just gonna need a bigger pan with a heavy lid to cook our soup in. I think that about covers it. If you have any questions, let me know. I will be sending a packet to you that contains all of the recipes, and go through it. Make sure you have everything in order. Again, make sure you prep everything. All your vegetables are cooked. Day of class, get everything measured out. I like to take sheet pans and kind of lay all my recipes on it. Whatever system works for you is great. And again, if you have questions, let me know. Yeah, and that's it. So I look forward to seeing you in class.